Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Listen, my friends, you and I, we're playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. So listen, Jungle Link got a little heat for a little comment that he made. Interestingly enough, the comment was the community needs to move on from Ethgate. Now, you guys know you've been following the channel. You've been hanging out in my live stream. I said that months and months and months ago, right? Months ago, I said that, right? And the reason why I said it is because the all-consuming nature of Ethgate, not allowing for any kind of open conversation, not allowing for any type of deep diving into other assets, not allowing, more important, not allowing for deep diving into projects, developers, building within the XRPL ecosystem, more focused on centralized businesses like Ripple and Uphold. And that was the challenge that I saw with this whole focus on Ethgate, right? That was the challenge. And I think this is what Jungle is alluding to when he made that comment. But let's go to some other stuff that he said here to kind of clear some stuff up. He says, I think people are free to discuss and do as they will. I am not the thought police. I notice a lot of people in my comments that think Ethereum is a scam because of perceived actions by some parties, right? I said time and time again, one of the biggest challenges in our community, the XRP and the XRPL community, is the entertaining content creators echoing and doing this very, very thing here. It's no different than what the BTC Maxis did to the XRP, the asset, and the community. It's no different. Unfortunately, the loudest mouths of content creators in the digital asset space think an eye for an eye, baby, an eye for an eye. Unfortunately, they think that. So it's really up to you how you want to think and how you want to feel. Me personally, I think that at one point in the old, it was an eye for an eye, and in the new, turn the other cheek, baby. So that's how I see it. Comments like XRP is the only crypto with real utility, says Jungle. Many people miss the real world value of the Ethereum blockchain, DeFi, and other exciting smart contract blockchains. And I don't think they miss it. I think they choose to ignore it because the loudest mouth of content creators in the community have always made it us against them. You crap on me, I'm gonna crap on you. Again, it's the whole maxi mentality. There isn't an asset. You can't claim to be a utility maxi and spout XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR. You cannot claim to be a utility maxi. Now, if you want to say you're a utility maxi outside of crypto, go right ahead. But you can't claim to be a utility maxi in crypto and just forget about ETH. There isn't an asset that is used more in the digital asset space. Utility. There isn't an asset that's used more than ETH. Maybe Tether, but we're talking about crypto, not a stable. There just isn't. So you can spouse all you want. You're a utility maxi. You're not. You're not a utility maxi. Jungle goes on to say, I was just trying to break this loop. Yep. We should push for justice, but not at the expense of important, measurable, that is important to successful investing. My comments should not be extrapolated to others or other content creators, but rather the bubble that is my channel. I hear you, my guy. I hear you. So this is an interesting little thing here from Rob Lucker. Little poll. Is it okay for Ripple to issue a stablecoin on ETH? And is it okay? Is it okay for Ripple to issue a stablecoin on ETH, and can ETH and Ethgate be separate entities? 78% said yes. 78% say yes. So anyway, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go to something that I think is pretty funny. No, let me go here. Hugo says something. I'm going to say, just understand what it is. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. Ripple should have followed the playbook of Flare Networks. So anyway, Flare is the only data provision service. Ripple, the centralized entity. Remember, XRPL, the open source decentralized thing. That's a different thing. Talking about the company. Flare is the only data provision service in blockchain that has its own computer layer. It's the only one. This means that people can build both on Flare and elsewhere with Flare's data. In order for this to happen, the FLR token must be staked or delegated. It's a different model. It's a different concept, as opposed to, you can use this thing, or you can use some other thing. Flare, let me say it again. In order for this to happen, the FLR token must be staked or delegated. There is a model that is for the FLR holder, and there's a model that's for the centralized entity. That is Ripple. Just got, do you understand? I'm not saying what's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, what is right or wrong for the holder of the asset? Flare's model is right for the Flare token holder. Do you understand? Ripple, up until this point, up until 6-9 months ago, the model has not been about the XRP holder. Again, I'm going to say this again. Up until about 6 to 9 months ago, it hadn't been that way. I believe that it is that way now. The idea of bringing stuff on chain, it is that now, but it wasn't that way in the beginning. But again, it is that way now. Flare Networks model from day one has been that way for the FLR token holders. That's the difference. That's the difference. The biggest challenge in this XRP community is content creators, the loudest content creators promoting the centralized business model, as opposed to the model for the XRP holder. That's the biggest difference. So anyway, Matt Rosenden says something here, and I think this is massively true. Most of the XRPL community is blind to the developments before them. This is why Jungle Eek, in my humble opinion, made that. I'm not speaking for him, but this is a prime example of why he's talking about moving on, right, from Ethgate. Most of the XRPL community is blind to the developments before them. A native automated market maker. And what I will add to that is understanding the power behind it. EVM sidechain, understanding the power behind it. So all of these will be that. EVM, decentralized apps, a bridge protocol, Ripple stablecoin, digital identity or decentralized identity, whatever DID is, atomic batch transactions, tier 1 custody providers. And the reason in my opinion, why there is not like this kind of like in-depth power in understanding this. It's because this community is consumed on other things like Ethgate and other things. My humble opinion. So Crypto Eddie shared this, and I think it's so hugely important. You got to understand it. It's the guy from Solana talking about stable coins and some other stuff. You have to make your own decision on what's right for you, right? Like, here's the thing that I say. Some people say, look, this thing, this XRPL thing, it's never broken, right? Right? Some people, right? XRP holders. And you got the Solana holders. It's like, yep, our thing's broke on occasions, on many of occasions. But our value is about $200 per. So as a digital asset holder, which one do you prefer? You know, the 57 cents or about $200? It was really up to you what you prefer. You know, some people are just proud thing have never broke. Just proud of it. It hadn't broke. Look, there's no ecosystem here. But hey, it hasn't gone down, baby. It hasn't gone down. Or there's the other one. Things broken down numerous times on a number of occasions. But boy, I'm loving this 200 per the asset. That is Solana. I mean, it's up to you. It's really up to you. What I get excited about is I don't have to choose one or the other. I am not beholden to one asset. I say it on the channel all the time. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson didn't get down on bended knee and ask for my hand in marriage. I'm here to create generational wealth for me and my family. What say you? Take a listen to this. So Austin Federa, head of strategy at Solana, sat down with Circle director. Oh, I didn't know that. Circle director Sam Neely 8 days ago. I didn't know that. Okay. So that's who this dude is. Okay. The fastest growing crypto network, Solana, plus USDC stablecoin for payments. The competition in the stablecoin market is going to be intense. So are they hooking up? I don't know. So let's see. Let's take a listen.
In the national security community. Let's talk about the role that stablecoin, in particular USDC, has played in this growth over the past, let's say year and a half with Solana.
It's hard to attribute growth to sort of any one particular token or use case on the network. But, payments sort of have been the promise of blockchain since it began, but it wasn't really functionally true, right? Like there were all these capabilities to theoretically pay people on blockchain. But until we had like highly regulated stable coins like Circle offers with USDC, it was really hard to actually trust that the stable coin was going to be a stable coin, right? Just look at what happened with Terra. At the same time, though, most blockchains are slow. They have, anywhere between $2 to $20 transfer fees to actually make a transaction on the network. And the finality time is, anywhere between a minute to 20 minutes, depending on the network. And, imagine tapping your credit card and waiting a minute for that transaction to confirm. Like no coffee shop would be able to exist, right? There's just these models don't make sense for payments unless you can have low transaction fees and really fast finality. And so Solana, with its about 400 millisecond long.
So that's an important thing, right? So he keeps saying stables for payments, right? So, and I want you to kind of understand the whole idea here. Django found this video here with Chris Larson, and there's kind of like two kind of incidents here or situations. One is where market makers create markets, and another is in crypto, right? So within crypto for payments, right? And there's this other model that Chris Larson talks about where you make a market. And I think this is the confusion in the digital asset space, because I just listened to Scott Melker yesterday morning while I was at the gym. He was interviewing Simon Dixon from Bank to the Future, OG in the Bitcoin space, big time Ripple shareholder. And he had announced during the interview that Ripple had just announced their stablecoin. And he just, all he could see was that was the demise of XRP. Because he kept saying, well, wasn't XRP meant for payments? XRP is supposed to be for payments, right? Not understanding the role XRP is for payments. Like he missed completely the bridge that it serves as the bridge currency for payments, right? It was almost like in his brain that, no, I'm going to send you XRP. I owe you $10 and I'm sending you XRP because it's fast and because it's cheap, right? Like that's what he was saying in the interview. That's basically, well, if we're using stable coins now for payments, why do we need XRP? It completely did not understand the bridge thing. And here's the other thing that he's missing as well. Let's take a listen here. Chris Larson explains this market maker thing.
Please repeat to XRP. Ripple doesn't require you to ever use XRP, even in a trade. I mean, the cool thing here is that anybody in the world.
That's a very important thing. Ripple, did he say Ripple? I don't know what he said. Ripple that never require, again, I just made this point about Flair and Hugo. Ripple never requires you to use XRP. You understand that? He just said it there. Who is that for? Who does that benefit? The company. Right? As an asset holder, what do we want? This is why I'm just alarmed at some of the things that Brad Kimes says. He just said this the other day about, it's just so much better to just give them options. Who's it better for? Who's it better for? Maybe that customer, maybe that company, but we're in the digital asset space as retail digital asset holders. That's the vast majority of XRP holders do not own shares, stock, whatever you want to call it, in Ripple. You understand? The vast majority of people in the digital asset space are not holding equity in Circle and Uphold and Ripple. You understand? That's the difference. Let me let you hear Chris Larson say that again.
Ripple doesn't require you to ever use XRP, even in a trade. I mean, the cool thing here is that anybody in the world now using Ripple can put a bid ask on anything of value from any issuer. So for example, somebody could decide, I'm going to make a market between United Airline miles, if, once United Airline miles are on Ripple, I hope they will be someday, to Brazilian real. You could go directly. You don't actually have to go through XRP. But what we believe will happen is that most market makers in filling out the world of exchanging value from anything of value, again, currencies, merchant reward points, airline miles, gold, silver, anything that you define as value, most people will actually, most market makers will use XRP because as a currency without a counterparty, it is a completely unique thing in the protocol, just like.
It's important. The market makers, people out here making markets will use XRP because of no counterparty risk. That is a different thing than a stable coin, right? From a regulated entity that does have the counterparty risk. You understand? That's the difference. This is, and I'm gonna play this again, this part here again. This is what Scott Melker is missing.
That you define as value. Most people will actually, most market makers will use XRP because as a currency without a counterparty, it is a completely unique thing in the protocol, just like Bitcoin is completely unique. So again, our view of why math-based currencies are so valuable isn't necessarily that they replace existing currencies, it's just that they have a very unique feature in that they have no counterparty. So the whole world, the world only has to think about one thing when it comes to Bitcoin or Ripple, is the price in any microsecond in time. You never have to think about the counterparty risks. Turns out that is a completely unique thing that's never existed before. So why is that important? Let's say we use the example of a farmer in Nepal wanting to buy farming equipment from a supplier in Kenya, let's say. If you didn't have the math-based currency, even in an internet for value, you'd probably have to go Nepalese rupee to Indian rupee to British pounds to Kenyan shilling. That's a lot of hops.
Right, and you're gonna lose a good amount of money on each hop.
You lose value on every hop, right? Because you're involving currencies with counterparties, things of value with counterparty. It'd be much better to go Nepalese rupee to XRP through a market maker. And then there's some other market maker that has made a market between Kenyan shilling and XRP. Now, Nepal and Kenya are one hop away. You're actually one hop away from airline miles, and everything is one hop away. That's why a math-based currency, we think, is really unique and really has value.
That's exactly right. And that's what a lot of people miss. They don't understand. They just kind of, like, they just don't get it. Let me see here. I commented on Jungle's thing here. But why isn't my comments on here? But anyway, this is what I said in reference to that. And that's just kind of understanding the differences and understanding the markets and why, you know, for example, Ripple believes the XRP is the better choice. And I don't know, my guess is that they're understanding more of the markets and they're talking to market makers. And my guess is that this is what the market makers have been expressing to them. Why is my comment not here? All right, let me do this because Jungle Eat liked my comment. Here it is here. Oh, okay, I did it in the Chris Larson video. It says, yeah, the lack of counterparty risk in XRP for payments is what people like Scott Melker miss. Stablecoins seem like the better option because, quote unquote, they see it as a regulated, fully backed asset. But what the market makers cares more about is no counterparty risk. And it feels like the market making thing feels like it's more outside of crypto, but it's not. It will involve crypto. It will be in the asset space as well. But it can be outside of crypto because it's anything of value, right? The XRPL is anything of value, right? So the gold market, airline miles, that don't have to be inside of crypto, right? So that kind of thing. But what the market maker cares more about is no counterparty risk. This is what it feels like Chris Larson is saying, that is the thing, right? That to the market makers, people making markets, it's the counterparty risk that most concerns them, And I think a lot of people kind of get it kind of confused and don't kind of really understand the bigger deal. And so, I was listening to Scott, he's interviewing Simon Dixon. He's like, well, if they're going to have a stablecoin, why do they need XRP? Right? He's missing it. He's missing the role that XRP plays, but he's also missing the difference between XRP with no counterparty risk and a stablecoin with third party, or if you will, counterparty risk. That's what he's missing. That's kind of the difference. And for you and I, maybe that doesn't matter. The counterparty risk, right? That it's circled, right? And that if I hold this stable coin, that anything can happen to circle, that it could depeg, et cetera, et cetera. You understand what I'm saying? The market maker is massively concerned with that. That's the difference. They're not so concerned about that 3 to 5 second window, if you will, of volatility. They're more concerned about the third-party counterparty risk. That's what it feels like to me. So there it is, fam. Just wanted to hop on here and share a little bit with you guys. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. This wraps up your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor and hit that like button. It's one of the greatest ways you can support the channel. And if you've been hanging out and watching the Crypto Seeds and you have enjoyed those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby. So just, whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.